gentlemen, welcome back to the Turf Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe Dowd, and joining me are my two co-hosts, Nick Walters, Big Wop, you know him, you love him, and Dom Capuano. Boys, we're bringing the heat for episode 29. And for episode 29, boys, we got a couple things planned. So we got our news and our typical UFL scores. And then we're also going to have a couple discussion topics similar to last week. So this week it's going to be more game-oriented. You're going to be listening. You're going to be quizzed. We're going to see your knowledge. We're going to see what you know. Quite frankly, if you're active on Instagram, then you might already know the answers to that. And we're also going to test Nick's lovely Madden knowledge that comes to the end of the episode.
Yeah, so Gabe, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Where did this ball come from?
Upstairs.
Give me a backstory.
You want a genuine backstory?
Yeah, the ESPN ball.
We bought that ball, I'm going to assume Walmart, before a family vacation to Cape Cod so we could use it in the pool because we didn't want to ruin the regular leather ball that we would use in the backyard or to play typical football. So now we have the ESPN rubber ball.
We're ESPN officials.
Let me see that real quick. Let's get that on a close-up
Not
camera.
Sponsored.
You want a good water ball for the family? Head over to your local Walmart and get yourself an ESPN, rubber football. Because other than that, it doesn't have anything else listed.
ESPN ball.
ESPN ball. I mean, what better ball to have on a Turf Talk football podcast? Dom, before we kick off the news, I do want to preface to you, you're going to be repeating something 3 or 4 times. So I'm going to pre-warn you now and pre-warn the viewers. There's a lot of fifth-year options picked up. It's that time of the year. So be prepared when you read it. You're going to see the same thing over and over.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
So with that being said,
yes,
the Falcons are going to start by picking up the fifth-year option wide receiver Drake London. I mean,
we're not surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't got an extension yet. I'm sure that's the next step.
I mean, he was phenomenal last season. We saw him kick off pretty well. So W for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the Jets are picking up on fifth-year option edge rusher Jermaine Johnson.
Last chance you.
I was going to say another one. I'm surprised that they're not already working on the extension. I mean, he wasn't as impactful as we thought he was going to be coming out of FSU, but he's definitely made an impact on the defense. We'd say that's the strongest part of the Jets team. Their defense. So without further ado.
Double J's. Double J's.
It's going to come eventually.
And the Ravens are picking up the fifth-year option on safety Kyle Hamilton.
I would extend him 4th year in. I don't know why we're not giving this guy a mega deal. He's the most versatile safety in the league right now.
So far we're looking at extensions that should have been made across the board.
Exactly. I think these are all very logical extensions that need to be made.
Yeah.
I guess we're just playing the long game because the next one, especially for this team.
Yep. So speaking of the next one, the Eagles are picking up the 5th-year option on defensive tackle Jordan Davis.
Massive. Needs to be done.
I can't believe it's already been that long he's been in the league.
So that's the thing with a lot of these, like Drake London, all of them, Kyle Hamilton especially. It feels like we only got drafted 2-3 years ago. We're already seeing their 5th year even being on the table.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're even already
Drake
here.
London's name didn't really get out there till last year.
Yeah, because I feel like injuries, poor quarterback play. Last year he was truly the feature name on the offense. So But yeah.
And last but not least, the Broncos director of college scouting, Brian Stark, is leaving the team to join the Ravens as assistant general manager.
Now, this one really rubs me the wrong way. How are you going to leave? No, I get it. Leave for a better position. That's understandable. But you're going to go to a division
rival. Or at least go to the Chargers.
The Raiders of the scummiest team in the division you're going to go to. It's just...
Ash and Genty, baby.
Screw Ash and Genty. I liked him when he was in the blue and orange in college. Now he's on the wrong side.
I never liked him. He's trash. He's overrated.
RJ Harvey, baby.
Yes, sir.
We're good. We're chilling.
All right, moving on. Bills are signing wide receiver Elijah Moore to a 1-year deal. Browns, Jets legend.
This is going to be similar to Matt Collins. It's not big now. He'll probably make a decent impact once it comes season.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's going to get him involved. They're going to figure out ways to get him to shine in that offense.
Easily.
Sure.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Prepare it now. Get it ready.
The Bengals
warm it up.
Are likely to release linebacker Jermaine Pratt.
Nick, where does he land?
Jermaine Pratt, you are a Bronco.
So for a Bengals defense that's already suffering, can barely stay afloat.
You're cutting your pretty much best defensive player.
Whatever's left of your defense is your...
Is suffering the right word? I mean, this defense is pitiful.
They're just worst in the league.
It's pretty sad. It's gotten
I feel like at this point, just put Joe Burrow out at safety.
And not to bring bad mojo to the Broncos' way. I mean, we talked about this last week. We love Dre Greenlaw. We know what he can be. We know what he's going to be. I'm going to say that.
If he doesn't tear his ACL.
Shut up. We know what he's going to be. But with comfort and expectation, we need to understand that there are going to be issues with his health and that we need another person in line for him and Alex Singleton.
Exactly.
And I think this is the guy.
Alex Singleton.
Think this is the guy. Nick, you said a few weeks ago, you want the juice, you want the energy, you want the physicality. That is Jermaine Pratt.
Jack Jones.
And Jack Jones for another time. But this guy is our guy right now. Now, I don't know when he gets released, but they said it's in the very near future.
Yeah.
So it's with a matter of weeks. We'll see where he goes. Hopefully it is the Broncos. We hope, we pray.
Nick Chubb and Jermaine Pratt, you guys are Broncos.
God, I don't know if you saw that. If Nick Chubb ends up being a Bronco, you will see the jersey on my back.
100%.
I don't care how many times he's blown his knee out.
Fanatics website, the official
Nick
jerseys.
Chubb is the guy. He is a dog. He's a dog internally. He's been a dog everywhere he goes. Georgia Bulldogs, Cleveland Browns, dog in mentality and inside.
Yes, sir.
And future Bronco.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying it here. If you heard it here first. So let's get
we
it.
go.
Let's get it
There we
signed,
go.
Sean Payton. Let's get it going.
Let's go, George Payton.
Him and RJ Harvey and Audric Esme, please. Please.
Tyler Bidet. Don't sleep on him either. We'll see.
We'll see.
Time will tell. We
We'll
haven't
see.
said
Time
that
will
in a few
tell.
weeks.
Dom says it best.
All right, moving on. Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah may miss the entire 2025 season because of a
Heartbreaker.
neck injury he suffered in Week 8 last year.
Of last season.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's
And the worst part is the future as a career as a whole is unknown. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's no timetable. They've asked multiple times.
neck injuries are not something. You
No,
can
Oh,
they,
yeah.
there's no
Someone
timetable.
just medically retired because of one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jordan or
Steelers.
not Jordan Travis. Yeah, the Steelers, and then we'll get to that actually.
Yeah.
That I just spoiled it, but yeah, Jordan Travis medically had to retire just due to a leg injury sustained in college that carried over to the NFL, and
Yeah.
rehab got worse. So yeah, there's a lot of
Sucks.
players dealing with injuries, and at the end of the day, yeah, whether it sucks or not as a fan,
The health's more
nature of
the
the sport.
the quality of their life is more important, and that, like Nick just said, you sign up for that when you play football. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
Speaking of the Steelers,
And Browns.
former first-round pick linebacker, he plays for the Browns right now. Devin Bush was arrested in Pennsylvania for assault and
What are we
harassment
doing?
charges.
What are we doing? Every week we have a new athlete.
Bro, I
a
wanted
new
this guy
athlete.
in 2019 when we traded
Yes.
back and got Noah Fant.
Yeah, we got Noah Fant. That was
I wanted
Mhm.
Devin Bush so bad, and we traded that pick to the Steelers, and they used it to draft Devin Bush. I was so upset, but I think it worked out.
It worked out because
I think
both
it's safe
picks
to
are no
say.
longer where they were projected
Noah
to be.
Fant has
5,
never
6
gotten
years.
arrested for assault and harassment.
But he also never
so-
panned out to be the tight end we all thought he was going to be. Excuse me. But
No,
Seahawks ledge.
Not a
I don't know,
locker
I-
room cancer.
it's the same division. Every time we get a new athlete, it's the Browns, the Steelers, or someone in the AFC
Browns,
East,
Steelers,
North.
Bengals,
Yeah,
Ravens.
it's. I don't get athletes. You have the money, you have the resources. What are we doing? If you're
CTE.
in a shitty relationship, get out. If you're drunk, get an Uber. If you need mental
It's not
help,
that
get
hard.
therapy.
It's not that hard.
Like you have the money and resources. I think Dom said it last week. Why are you injuring other people's lives by getting on the road and doing stuff? And then the harassment and all the shit that we deal with the player, it's absurd.
It's crazy.
Yep.
But
On a brighter note,
moving on to a less controversial star.
much brighter note.
The Patriots have voted former wide receiver Julian Edelman into their Hall of Fame.
Dom, this is your guy.
Well deserved.
Well
this is
deserved.
Dom's guy. This is the guy that you, I believe, said got you into football and playing receiver. No.
Hey,
Well, watching
he became
Julian
a Seahawks
Edelman when
fan.
I was first starting to watch the Super Bowls and get into football, Julian Edelman was the biggest star out there alongside Tom Brady. And I mean, being New Englanders, we watched every Patriots game.
so we put on Seahawks gear and watched them lose in the Super Bowl to those same two players.
you got to respect him. I lost a Super Bowl to him, fair and square.
Look, he
I
never said he
mean,
was a Patriots fan. He did say though that the reason
true.
he enjoyed playing receiver or wanted to play the position is because of Edelman.
And we saw
Fair
Edelman come from a college quarterback all the way. College quarterback?
Yeah,
Yep.
you heard it
I know he
Kent
played it in
State.
high school, but to move up to one of the best wide receivers.
Belichick's
to
the
ever
guy
play.
who said we're
drafted
going
him
to
as a
move him to the
receiver.
slot,
Yeah,
and the rest is
I
history.
think it worked out
Just-
pretty well.
Yeah.
Just
Super
remember
Bowl
that catch
MVP.
about the
If
Falcons.
there's anyone who deserves to be put in their team's Hall of Fame immediately, I would have said immediately it's Edelman. The
Other
guy
than
put it all
Brady.
on the
Other
line.
than Brady.
Well, yeah, but the guy put it all on the line from day one on the Patriots. I mean,
100%.
he has been the face of that offense other than Brady and Gronk for a majority of the last 10
he
years.
didn't even jump ship to Tampa Bay with
Nope.
them. He stayed.
No,
in
he
New
stayed and
England.
rode out with Cam Newton. He had
Yep.
that phenomenal game against Seattle week 2 of the
Yeah.
2019 season.
Yep. 2020.
2020. I will never forget that game. I watched the game. It was on prime time. That was when they had the fan cams and everything.
Sunday
Dude,
Night
Julian
Football.
Edelman went off, and he said it. I'll retire when the wheels fall off, and he did that.
Yeah.
So this is deserved.
He went out on his terms.
He went out on his terms. Boys, we already got news. We saw that Washington's moving back to their hometown, Washington D.C. And
Thank
now,
God.
the NFL draft in 2027 has been announced today to move to the nation's capital in D.C. What do we think? I think
Did
it's
Did you
cool.
see some
That's
of
a good
like
spot.
the pictures of it that
Yeah.
they kind of rendered
Yeah.
up? I thought that
Yeah.
was sick.
I think this is a perfect spot. I mean, it's this symbol of our
Literally the
country, and
nation's
now we're having the
capital, yeah.
draft there. I think it's badass. And
Perfect.
the turnout, watch the turnout, because by then, if the trajectory of the Commanders now continues, we're
It'll be huge.
we're in
Yeah,
for
it'll
it.
be
Look at Green Bay. Green Bay showed out. They don't get shit
there's
in that
nothing
in that
Green
in
Bay.
that state anywhere. Wisconsin gets nothing. They get one event from the NFL, and the entire state and Traveler showed out. Wait till we see we get in the nation's capital in 2027.
Yeah.
The Ravens. Back to a rough note. I hate to laugh about it, but it sucks. The Ravens have released kicker Justin Tucker, arguably could have been and would have been one of the greatest kickers to go down in NFL history and be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, You've been accused of multiple reports of inappropriate behavior.
But
and
they specifically came out and said they released him only because of football decisions.
Right.
Bullshit. We know. Look, it's a business. There's a way of going about it. We know in the public, and Justin Tucker knows deep down what they're doing. It's a bad look. It sets a bad precedent. You can't have that energy in the building. We're watching the Browns get killed from it with Deshaun, and he's not even touching the field. No. So, like I said, it sucks because
he hasn't touched.
If there's let's take a moment to let that sit in. If there's one thing about Justin Tucker is that he was a community guy as far as we knew. So when this news came out, no one believed it. And then we get 16 accusations, and now here we are, Dom's holding it in. Here we are, and we're seeing what could have been the greatest kicker and the nicest looking guy turn into be
debatable. Joe Burrow up there.
Let's debate that right now. Turf talk off the field.
I mean, I'm saying nice guy as in terms of what he did for the Baltimore community and stuff in his 10 years of playing.
Yeah, he did a lot for that.
I mean, you thought of a kicker that could kick 60+ yards. It was Justin Tucker.
Not only that, when everyone heard Justin Tucker, you messed with him, you liked him, and then when the news came out, you're like, really? Like what? And then more came out, and then it's like, whether you believe it or not, whether it's true or not, there's nothing you can do but release him and move on from the problem. Yeah. We've been talking about it since, gosh, I want to say December.
I mean, they drafted a kicker, didn't they?
Yeah, they drafted a kicker.
Why
yeah,
someone to replace him. Yeah. Now, where do you think Justin Tucker lands?
I don't.
Nowhere.
Honestly. His career's over.
Think so?
The NFL,
if he had a good year last year, he would have had a better chance.
I think Deshaun Watson is the last one you will see where sexual charges and cases of that nature will come out, and you're going to see no repercussions because he basically was rewarded for his actions.
Roethlisberger
he got
and
paid
Watson.
The highest contract at the time to be signed with the Browns and get a new future and a go-around. And I look, I believe in second chances, but when it comes to this level of shit, I don't know that you can reward players.
Yikes.
Now, does a team in the playoffs get ballsy and say, we want to win a Super Bowl, we need a kicker, let's do it? Maybe. But right now, no, I don't think any team picks him up. And if they do, a lot of questions to be answered. Yeah. I mean, and I just mentioned this earlier. It's right here, so we're going to go back over it. Second-year quarterback Jordan Travis out of FSU has been forced to medically retire due to his broken and dislocated ankle in his last college game that has unfortunately now carried over into his NFL career, and during rehab could not get better, so doctors have advised him to retire. Unfortunately, he is only 24 years old, so we will not get to see him continue. And I don't know if you watched college or even heard of it back, but 2 years ago when he was playing at FSU, he was the reason that program was making money and should have been in the playoffs, and they're arguably the reason why there's a 12-team bracket now.
Yeah.
So it does suck. It's similar to what we just saw with the Steelers. I don't know. It's an odd feeling to see someone that young who had potential, because I honestly could have seen him stepping in for Justin Fields if it didn't work out this year.
Sure.
So when I saw it, I was like, whoa, now what? Now they have to address the backup spot.
Aaron Rodgers is available.
Now let's get to
this last one makes me mad.
Now let's go. Okay, well, let's not get mad. Let's keep it light because I think it's kind of funny. The guy can't fucking land a number to save his life. As we mentioned last week, Abdul Carter requested number 56 from the guy, the legend, Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor said, dude, go figure it out yourself. Build your own career. This is mine. I made this number, not you. Go do it. Can't blame him. And Abdul Carter took it how he should take it. Yeah. Then he's like, you know what? Maybe we'll wear number 11 in college. Goes out, texts Phil Simms. Nope, not happening.
Phil Simms was fine with it. It was his family.
Abdul Carter cannot catch a break. What do we got to do, New York, to get this guy a number? Is he going to go out there without a jersey this season?
Why doesn't he just pick a number that hasn't been retired?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think with the 11 thing, it was more so like, it's been my number my entire life. Yeah. We'll see if maybe they respect it. Yeah. Lawrence Taylor, we're all in agreement. Everyone who watches the NFL,
he doesn't deserve that.
You are out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Why would you do that? It's like asking for Tom Brady's number.
Go to the Patriots and get 12.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. I think it's kind of comical. Like, what are we going to do? Like, is this guy going to get a number? Like, at this point, just pick one. Like, if it's available, pick it.
Look at 91, bro. That's available, isn't it?
I don't know what the Giants' field numbers are. 99, I'd wear that. Why is he opposed to other numbers? All right, let's move on. UFL Week 6 scores. Nick, I know you want to hear about this one.
So it sucks this week because there were no UFL games that happened.
There was a UFL game. He wasn't happy. If there were no UFL games, he'd be way happy. Actually, there's no, even when there are UFL games, he doesn't care because they don't happen in his life. But to start off the week on primetime on Friday, we had the Arlington Renegades taking on the St. Louis Battlehawks for game number 2 of the season, in which, well, we won't call it a high-scoring affair, but the Battlehawks took home the W and won 12-6. Max Duggan, you played a good football for once. I mean, it wasn't spectacular by any means. The defense kind of carried with that pick, but
the Renegades'
Hakeem Butler
offense
finally gets his touchdown.
Offense is terrible.
I'm talking.
Terrible.
We're not talking about LP right now.
I'm speaking.
I'm speaking, actually. Hakeem Butler finally gets his touchdown. Max Duggan finally looks like he did at TCU. Hell, we look like we know what we're doing again. We look like a football program. We look like we won't talk about that. We look like a football program again. And that's all that matters. We're taking the W. Buddy, I want to inform you, you've now dropped to 3rd in UFL rankings. We're up to 2nd. What's your
Big
what's
whoop.
your big whoop? Your team
Big
ain't doing
whoop.
shit. What happened, King of
Big
Spring?
whoop.
What happened, King of Spring?
Big whoop.
He ain't throwing the rock
He's
no more.
allowed
He
to
didn't
have
get
one
in the
bad
end
game.
zone.
Where's
One
your
bad
quarterback
game.
at?
One bad game. I
He's
think
not
he
even on
lost
the
2
field.
now.
The best ability
He
is
broke his
availability.
ankle. He
Womp
broke
womp.
his ankle. He
Womp
broke
womp.
his ankle. Max
Big
Duggan's
whoop.
covering.
Big whoop.
Max Duggan's covering.
Big whoop.
Dom.
I have no
Actually, you're
opinion.
not even. Yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
no
yeah,
opinion.
you've no. Yeah, you lost. That's all that matters. You lost.
Remember what happened 2 weeks ago?
You won. We're okay. We're
Exactly.
still higher than you in
We're
rankings.
split.
We
We're
split.
split.
We split, but we're still
split.
higher in the rankings.
Which makes no sense. Makes no sense.
I want to argue it. Without further ado, Memphis Showboats, please.
So the Showboats and the Roughnecks actually had the only close game of the week, where the Roughnecks won 21-20.
Hey, you can't have it all in the UFL, right?
Hey, I
Don't they
mean,
both suck?
Yeah.
They're both pretty
Yeah.
bad.
I think the next game's even
I
worse.
mean,
Well, speaking
We
of the
watched a
next game,
72-yard dropped wide open touchdown.
the
he
San
went and sat in
Antonio
the stands,
Brahmas.
didn't he?
Yeah,
versus,
yeah,
He sat
I-
in the stands, didn't
Oh,
he?
yeah, he did. He said, I want you to introduce, and then we'll get into that.
the San Antonio Brahmas versus the Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions won 26.
They didn't win. They destroyed. So we talked about this a few weeks ago, and you asked, give me an NFL example of what the San Antonio Brahmas are. They're the laughing stock of the UFL. 72, I wish we had it right now to pull up. 72-yard, I'm exaggerating a little bit, wide open. I mean, he's alone.
There's nobody.
There's
within
more
10
than
yards.
25 yards of him. Drops the ball. And it's in his breadbasket. He catches
Yeah, it
it,
was
and
an
it
easy
bounces
catch.
behind him. And he's so embarrassed, he gets in the stands and sits down. I almost want to pull it up so he can see it. It's bad. It's really
I'll
bad.
look it up and watch
Look it up and turn your audio down because it's bad.
Didn't
It's
the Panthers have a game this week too? I could have sworn I saw them play.
they might have. Maybe I just skipped over them.
They're
What's going
irrelevant
on?
anyway.
Come on, we're the only true lovers of the UFL. I feel like me and Nick are the only ones who stay true to the
We're
league.
the only two like on the planet, bro.
Should I post about them just as much as I do the Broncos?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Every
Oh
game
yeah,
day.
okay, I lied. Yeah, Michigan. Wow, defenders finally lost.
Yeah, that's why it was such a big
I
thing.
thought I saw Jordan Ta'amu cooking though. He had like 2 touchdowns that were pretty beautiful. I won't lie. But the Michigan Panthers won 38-14.
Yeah.
So I guess the DC Defenders, also known as the KC